Then you have the whole dynamic of NLI. You got kids making more money than some of the assistant coaches, more than some of the head coaches at some schools. And that's tough to deal with because
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams. And on our extended March edition on this Throwdown Thursday, we're going to get you ready. Conference tournaments are going on this week. Last week, we talked about some conferences. This week, we'll talk about more and get us ready for next week's super prediction show coming up. And join our Yahoo free bracket, strictly for entertainment purposes only, but more information about that will take place next week. So let's jump to the net rankings. 1, Duke. 2, Auburn. 3, Houston. 4, Florida. And 5, Tennessee. Top mid-majors: Gonzaga, St. Mary's, VCU, UC San Diego, and Utah State. And guys, you better hope that they win these conference tournaments, because I want to tell you before we jump in, regular season conference records is not a strong measure that is heavily used on Selection Sunday. So when you see Arkansas has a poor SEC conference ranking, it doesn't matter. They've played a better non-conference schedule. So keep that in mind. Team to watch. Hey, keep an eye on Carolina this week. Keep an eye on Carolina and see if they can make a run. Same thing with Illinois. Same thing with Arkansas. Joining us today is our coach's coach. We get extended time with Coach Alfred Johnson. Coach, story of the week. ACC basketball is not as good as it has been. And man, they might be lucky to get 4 teams and not a lot of top 25 head-to-head matchups. What are you thinking about the ACC as we head into conference tournaments?
I do agree with you that it's not as strong as it used to be, but that's because of teams moving. You know, when you have teams shifting, moving conferences and things of this nature, it's not what it used to be. It is definitely not what it used to be. 4 teams would be good for them. I think financially, as a conference, they would be happy with 4 teams.
Well, you got to think about this, Coach, and we've been around this game a long time. The ACC has lost a lot of leaders over the past
Yes,
6 years. Coach
yes,
K, Roy Williams, Jim Boeheim, and losing Tony Bennett. Man,
was
that's a
huge.
loss for your coaches. For get on the court,
Right.
off the court, that guy is so well respected. In your opinion, what impact do you think the losing of legends, if you will, had on the ACCs? I can't even call it a decline. It's just they're not as good as other conferences anymore.
Well, well, the huge thing with losing those guys, and let's
And Leonard Hamilton and Coach L. Yeah.
yeah, but let's go back to the ACC for a minute. Talk about Tony Bennett. You know, those guys are fantastic coaches, but they're used to coaching 3 to 4 year students. Right now, the way the landscape is, you got young kids coming in and they coming in right away talking about 1 year. And some of them not ready after 1 year, but they're talking about 1 year. Then you have the whole dynamic of NLI. You got kids making more money than some of the assistant coaches, more than some of the head coaches at some schools. And that's tough to deal with because now when you're used to trying to redirect the player and they give you a body language that says they're not interested, that's not what these guys are used to. They want
Mhm.
to coach young men. And when I say coach them, they want to help them get better. They want to mentor them for things in life. They want to explain to them, this is why we do things this way, son, to help you for later. And right now, the landscape across the country has changed.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's get to the tournaments. We did a bunch last week. Let's get to this week. ACC. Duke is the projected winner,
Yes.
but I think Clemson's a team to watch. I think Clemson's a team to watch. Big 12, Houston, that's the predicted winner, but keep an eye on Texas Tech. Keep an eye on Texas Tech.
Yes.
Conference USA, Liberty is the projected winner, but I like Middle Tennessee State University, coach. I like them. I like them. Now, in the MAC, the MAAC, and y'all should probably change your name. Merrimack is the predicted winner, but Quinnipiac is the place to be at, so to speak. And I think they're a team to watch. Good old SWAC. Here we go, coach. Southern U is the predicted winner,
Yes.
but Alabama State is a team I'd like to watch. Any quick SWAC talk from your past life?
Yeah. Well, one, Southern, I'm glad to see them on the rebound. I'm glad to see Southern name back up there where it was. Every time I think of Southern, of course, my joy goes back to the days of Ben Jobe and what he did with that program. Alabama State is a favorite of mine. Having spent some time there, it's a beautiful campus, great arena. They should, in my mind, always be in the thick of things. You can recruit there. So that's good to see. Texas Southern has fallen off, but I think Johnny Jones will get them back together in a year or so.
And it's one and done anyway.
It's
So
one and done anyway.
whoever gets in, man, bless their hearts.
Not to get off the subject, but this is why personally, when it comes to HBCUs, I like D2 because at the D2 level, you can get an at-large bid. In the MEAC and SWAC, there's no such thing as an at-large bid.
And they're going to throw you to the wolves. All
That's
right.
it.
WAC, go GCU. Grand Canyon is the predicted winner. Took an L last night, but that wasn't entertaining for me. And Utah Valley is a team to watch. And the
Yes.
American Athletic Conference, come on, Penny. It is Memphis as the predicted winner, but North Texas is good. Keep an eye on North Texas. Coach, I'm going to pause you on this one because I think you know a little bit about these schools. I know I do. The Atlantic 10. VCU is the predicted winner, in my opinion, but George Mason is the team to watch because George Mason won the regular season, but VCU is really, really good.
Yes,
Any
they are.
thoughts on the Atlantic 10, especially being in that Mid-Atlantic region for so many years of your life?
The Atlantic 10, I don't want to say three teams. I think for sure they'll get two.
SEC's going to
They'll
take
get
that.
two for sure. But it is a very good conference. Again, it shows you the value of basketball at the mid-level range. It's a good conference, and they're getting players, and they're another conference that's recruiting out of the portal.
Yeah.
Junior college players and high school players, unfortunately, right now, are in the cold.
It's all in your lens with that, man. I tell people all the time, go where they want you. But that's another story
That
for
is
another
true.
day. Big East. St. John's is the predicted winner. Kudos to Rick Pitino for what he's done there. But Marquette is a team to watch. And if you saw the game yesterday, we tape on Sundays. They just gonna battle. Shaka Smart is the first words ever said on this show. Shaka Smart. So we're always gonna follow him.
Yes.
But let's get to the Big Ten. Maryland is the predicted winner. That's me.
I love
Maryland is the
State.
predicted winner,
I
but
love
Michigan
Maryland
State is the team to watch. Any thoughts on the Big Ten, sir?
I agree with you. I think Maryland's going to come out the Big Ten. I love Maryland's team. I think for sure they're coming out the Big Ten.
See, here's the thing with Maryland right now. They're 5, and you don't want to be a 5 because you're going to play somebody really good.
Right.
If you're a 4, you're going to play somebody that's good, but you should be able to beat them. But if they win the Big Ten tournament, they might be a 3, and then that really sets them up because all you're trying to do is get out of the first weekend.
That's
And
true.
once you're out of the first weekend, you have a week to prepare for two opponents. So you're going to give one coach one scout. You're going to give,
Right.
the other coach the other scout. Actually, you got three scouts to do because you got to watch, two different teams for the whatever. And it's more normal. But that first weekend, you're going back, and most of the teams you ain't paid that much attention to. And yeah, you probably had some intern, tell me about San Diego State or something, but you ain't really dug into it. And you're on a neutral floor, and you're playing with referees from different conferences. Watch out, SEC, y'all play a little too physical. But that's another story. So anyway, good luck to the Terps. Good luck in that tournament. Big West. UC San Diego better win because they might get an at-large bid, and UC Irvine is the team to watch. So UC San Diego's the prediction. UC Irvine's the team to watch. MEAC, I'm going to pause, trying to get some love to our HBCUs. Norfolk State is my predicted winner. South Carolina State is the team to watch. Coach Johnson, what are you thinking about the MEAC?
Wow, great question. Right now it's a two horse race between those two. Although my heart's pulling for Delaware State. Listen, I think they've done a great job in terms of one getting over 500 for the year.
Yeah,
I
just
think
playing. You're
I think
correct on
I
that.
think they're doing a good job in conference, but that program just needed some life. I don't think they're there yet. Don't get me wrong; they're not there yet. I do have Norfolk State coming out of the tournament. Um, they are tested for this time of year. They've won in the past. I do have them coming out, although agree, South Carolina State's pretty good. They're pretty
Yeah.
good, but I got Norfolk State coming out the MEAC.
Okay. Mountain West, New Mexico. They're the projected winner. But Utah State is pretty doggone good. SEC, Tennessee is the predicted winner because they've been losing a little bit. Alabama is the team to watch. And notice I didn't say Auburn. So my beef, as I've said throughout, when you have elite talent, and it goes against other elite talent. It goes to the coaching and the actual X's and O's and what you do after timeouts, adjustments at halftime, situational basketball. And that end of game situation, coach, talked me off a ledge. One, too much space. So when Auburn had an opportunity to put pressure and make the guard turn and just make it a little tougher to get into the offense, they didn't do that. So it was a clean entry into their offense. Alabama ran a regular old set, got a shot, game over. So there was nothing uncomfortable about that. And I go to what was called in the huddle. So, coach, any thoughts, not just on the Auburn play that we talked about, but the SEC in terms of our predictions, who's going to win and being the team to watch?
Well, again, I'm agree with you because I don't have Auburn coming out of the conference, not winning it. I do not. I think it's going to be between Alabama and Tennessee.
Florida's good too, though. We're not going to.
Florida's very good, but they've taken a couple losses. But the thing about Auburn, Bruce Pearl is a very good coach because of what he's done in the past and he's doing currently at Auburn. But he's not the guy for one game I'm betting on to win.
Yeah.
He's not that guy.
And that's no slight to him either. We're
It's
two coaches talking, and there's a reason you ain't got over the hump, and you've had talent. You've got pro talent littered all over the league.
he
But
sure
when
do.
when they're with you, it's like Maryland. How you get all these pros and can't get out of the first weekend? You got pros.
Yeah, yeah,
So, okay.
yeah.
All right. In the MAC, the other MAC, Tuesday night Maction football MAC. Akron is the predicted winner, and Kent State's the team to watch. And we'll close this segment with the Ivy League. We're going with Yale as the predicted winner, Cornell as a team to watch. What happened to Tommy Amaker and Harvard, though? Saw
That's a
they
great
had,
question. Oh, God, that's a great question.
Jiminy Crickets.
That's a
Hey,
great question.
Tommy, what's up?
He got to get some more. He got to get some better players.
I
That's
would
no,
think.
no. That's the bottom line. He got to get better players, and with the Ivy League, I think it's a crapshoot in terms of every year. It really is. I like Princeton as a dark horse.
Okay.
I like Princeton as a dark horse. They have a nice team. They got a really good point guard.
Okay.
But again, the good thing for Tommy is that the Ivy League schools generally don't make a quick haste with getting rid of coaches. So I think he'll have time to turn the program around.
Okay. All right. So with that, fans, in segment 2, we're going to do the same thing with the women's tournament. Be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Keith Adams, and for years, I've witnessed the struggle student athletes face on how to truly balance the demands of academics and athletics. It's a question that I have dedicated my life to answering. That's why I wrote Finding the Balance, my personal journey to academic and athletic success. It's more than just a book. It is my personal journey, and it is filled with hard-earned lessons from decades as a coach, educator, and now president of the CKA Safe Project. Inside, you will find practical advice, real-life stories, and a clear roadmap to help student athletes, coaches, and parents navigate the complex world of balancing sports and education. And now I am thrilled to bring this message to a wider audience as a proud member of the Cascade Sports Network. We're partnering to amplify these crucial conversations about student athlete success. I believe every student athlete deserves the opportunity to reach their full potential, both on and off the court and the field. You can purchase your copy directly from our website at www.casafeproject.org. Join me and the Cascade Sports Network as we work together to help every student athlete succeed. Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast in segment 2. Let's jump to the women's game. Net rankings: number 1, UConn; 2, South Carolina; 3, Texas; 4, Notre Dame; 5, UCLA. Top 5 mid-majors: Richmond, Harvard, Columbia, South Dakota State, and yes, George Mason. Teams to watch: top heavy this week: USC, Duke, Tennessee, TCU. Story of the week: it's all about the tournaments. Okay, so a lot of the women's tournaments took place last week, with a lot of the championships today on our taping day. That's why we're doing a large show tomorrow. So no NBA coverage next week. It'll all be getting you ready for the tournament. But let's talk about this week's tournaments. The A-Sun, Florida Gulf Coast, the projected winner. Eastern Kentucky is a team to watch. Conference USA, Middle Tennessee, the predicted winner. Liberty is the team to watch. The MAAC, MAAC, Fairfield, very good team, is the predicted winner. And they're doing some good things in Connecticut. Quinnipiac, the place to be at, team to watch. In the SWAC, don't know how much you followed the women when you were down there, but shocking, Southern is the predicted winner, and Alabama A&M team to watch. For the WAC, WAC, Grand Canyon, I am a Lope. That is where I got my doctorate from, is the predicted winner. Abilene Christian, watch them. They're the team to watch. But with these mid-majors, coach, and the women's side, man, good luck breaking through, because it's top heavy. In the Big West, the Hawaii team, predicted winners, bring them over to the mainland. UC Irvine is a team to watch. In the MAC, Tuesday night action, Ball State is a predicted winner. Buffalo's a team to watch. In the MEAC, Norfolk State is the predicted winner. But man, let those Bison women get after it. Howard is the team to watch. In the Ivies, they're too good. Too good. Harvard's the predicted winner. Columbia's the team to watch, and both of them make it in that large bid, Coach. In the Patriot League, Lehigh is the predicted winner. Colgate is the team to watch. In the Northeast, Fairleigh Dickinson, predicted winner. Stonehill is the team to watch. CAA, Charleston's predicted winner. North Carolina A&T is the team to watch. Go ahead. And then for the Missouri Valley, Missouri State is the predicted winner. But Murray State's the predicted winner. Missouri State is the team to watch. Coach, as we get ready for the tournament, we've gone through everybody. On the women's side, who's caught your eye as a team that you're like, I can't wait to see where they are in the brackets?
I'm curious about Notre Dame. I'm waiting to see if they're going to rebound, string together a few wins, and put themselves back in conversation. Just being a top tier team. They've lost a couple games that I thought they were going to win. We know their guards are good, but something's missing there late in games, and that's where you think your guards would have the advantage, but something's missing there for them. I'm also curious about if South Carolina's going to get a 1 seed.
South Carolina's going to get a 1 seed. They made it to the finals of their tournament, the conference tournament. They're playing that later today, and they're also 2 in the net. So I've got to think they're going to get, regardless of what happens, I got to think they get a number 1 seed.
Yeah, who are they playing for the championship again? I'm sorry.
Texas. Playing Texas. And Texas is good. And that's
Texas
the thing.
Is good.
South Carolina might go into the tournament as an underdog, which is new for them.
Right.
Another team that I'm looking at is TCU. Haley Van Leaf, if I've mispronounced it, I'm sorry. She went from Louisville to LSU to Texas Christian University. And she's not only the newcomer of the year, but she's the player of the year. And there was some talk last year, man, she ain't that good, whatever.
It's a better fit for her. It's a much better fit for her. I think she is more comfortable now in her own skin. Being
a lot of personalities down there. That's a lot. It's a lot to do. And again, no slight. But Kim Mulkey is a personality.
Yes,
Angel Reese's personality.
Right.
Flo J was so maybe she wasn't feeling that. I don't know. But in a private moment, I'm sure you can get some information.
Yes. So, she's in a much comfortable space, and her play is showing that.
Yes. It's play showing. So UConn, they're going to win the Big East.
Yes, they are.
I saw Creighton barely beat Georgetown, and they're the 2 seed. So this should be fun to see seeding, and I can't wait to just do a women's exclusive show next week as we get ready for the tournament. So in segment 3,
UConn is really good,
and AZ's talking about coming back.
I know.
Talking about coming back. That'd be nice.
They are really good.
That'd be nice.
And if she does come back again, because remember, Paige is probably going to leave.
Paige is out.
So with Paige leaving, her coming back, her role increases. Even though she got a nice role this year, but it truly increases next year. And you talking about her and Sarah Strong leading the pack, that's pretty good.
Okay.
And again, for women, it's different. They're not just leaving school. So the WNBA will be there for her, but coming back, I think, is a great move for her if she decides to do that.
If she does that. All right, we'll leave that there. Put a pin in it, if you will. School system joke. And when we get back in segment 3, a lot of legal issues going on. We cover it every week. Got a Division III coach with me. It impacts everybody. Can't wait to talk about it. Be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. Dr. Keith Adams here. And for over 30 years, I've dedicated my life to helping student athletes succeed, not just on the fields and the courts, but in the classroom and beyond. And that's why I founded the CKA Safe Project. The CKA Save Project understands that finding the balance between academics and athletics is crucial for long-term success. That's why the CKA Save Project offers a range of programs, including personalized consulting, mentorship, and coming in 2027, our innovative Gap Year Basketball Academy designed to assist both young men and women reach their full potential both on and off the court. I'm incredibly excited to announce that the CK Save Project is now partnering with the Cascade Sports Network. This partnership will allow us the opportunity to amplify our message and reach even more student athletes through the Odd Coaches podcast and other exciting initiatives. Join the CKA Save Project and the Cascade Sports Network as we empower the next generation of student athletes. Visit CKA on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org to learn more. Let's work together to find the balance and help unlock your potential. Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast. In segment 3, there was a hearing last week entitled Moving the Goalposts, How NIL is Reshaping College Athletics. And I just want to give a brief recap on that, but I also want to educate the audience on Coach Johnson. Coach Johnson is also an assistant athletic director and a doctoral candidate. So when we have these conversations, man, this is super real. So let's tell you what happened. Last week, the U.S. House Committee on Energy and Commerce held another hearing on college sports and NIL, and they titled it Moving the Goalposts, How NIL is Reshaping College Athletics. Now, they're going to have another hearing next week, and I'm sure they're going to have other hearings. But like most previous hearings, the witness list, kind of an NCAA favored kind of witness list in terms of coaches, athletic directors, and former athletes, and didn't have a lot of differing perspectives. After watching the hearing, a lot of folks inclined to kind of brush this stuff off. But there's two things that's happening, Coach, and I know you've seen the notes, and I want to get your opinion on this. One, the CKA Save Project is a nonpartisan organization. We don't do politics. I'm also the president-elect of the Drake Group, and the Drake Group is a 501c4 nonprofit organization working to better educate Congress and higher ed policymakers about critical issues in intercollegiate athletics, and this is a critical issue. So recently I had the opportunity to meet with a lot of folks about this, and it's just hard because Congress lacks a lot of understanding, Coach, in terms of the unique relationships that are going on and strong influence from the Power Four conferences, SEC, the Big Ten, the ACC, and the Big 12. So with all of this going on, what's that impact coming to your level, and what are your thoughts on all of this going on?
Again, Congress does not have an idea because what they look at first and foremost when you say NIL is the fact that college student athletes, majority black, are getting paid. This is something they're trying to understand. They're trying to understand why, even though it's been made clear to them, they're still trying to understand this. At my level, we don't have a lot of NIL. We just don't. You know, for example, my school, I'm in a rural area. When I go around, for example, to business to talk to them about this, it's not something they're interested in. It is something they're not interested in. You know, we'll talk about trying to find ways to find sponsorship for, say, one of our top tier players. You know, it's just something they're not interested in. There may be some D3 schools successful in doing this. I have not heard of many. Again, the NIL mainly is for Division I schools. And again,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of your lower Division I schools, they're trying to raise money to keep up.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to raise money to keep up. So it is something that everybody's still trying to wrap their head around. But again, I think Congress really needs to have some athletic minded people in their ear.
Okay. So, as a part of the House settlement that's coming up, the NCAA is aiming to establish a new enforcement entity with court backing to limit the role of NIL collectives. Even though the settlement lays out framework for an NIL arbitrator, Congress will need to step in because we got a lot of state laws. And one of the things that I say in almost every meeting I'm in is the Articles of Confederation didn't work. And if you have 37, 38, 39, 40, 50 different ways of doing things, it's hard to, kind of come up with something that's going to stick and is going to last. So I'm not a, I don't believe student athletes should be employees. The reason being is I'm an educator, and as long as we're providing the things you need, man, let us know what you need, and then let's go through our process to make sure you have it. If you're an employee and Coach Johnson's a sophomore in college and he negotiates a deal on behalf of whatever, he's gone by the time whatever happens, happens, and it's not his voice anymore. There's new voices coming in every year. So that's me. I think once you become an employee, you also can get fired in the middle of the season. So why would I want to put a student athlete in a position that Coach Johnson's mad at something and you're done, and that includes your scholarship, your this, your that, and so forth? I think we should stay far away from that because
I agree.
we're in the business of education. So in terms of next steps, as these things happen and as we have these conversations, one, there needs to be continued education in terms of Congress on the complexity of this, because the further away schools go from being academic people, the more problems they get in. And hey, how are you doing in court? You keep losing because when you actually read this stuff legally, no, you can't deny the transfer. No, you can't prevent people from whatever. No, stop that. We still need to build broader coalitions with both sides of the aisle because we're just trying to help kids grow into adults. And it's something you said in segment one about coaching. Part of college is learning how to be an adult. So, yes,
Yes.
you're an adult by 18 legally, but especially kids growing up, and this is not a slight, but they're not hard boiled, to use 1920 slang. They're a bit undercooked because most of what they've done has been scripted for them. There's not a lot of unsupervised activity where I'm 52, I played outside unsupervised and knew by the hum of a street light what time to go home, and we never had watches. And we drank from the water fountain and the water hose, and we just took bikes and went places and played other neighborhoods. So there's no right or wrong. It's just different. Um,
You, 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 one of the problems we have overall also, and it's hard sometimes to really how we talk about this, but kids are in fact different. With the ability to transfer yearly, they don't build relationships with coaches. They don't stay and tough it out. And then kids unfortunately are able to fall on a sword of mental health. I mean, it is unbelievable to me. It really is. Because, you know, I coached because I had good men when I was growing up who were examples of helping you through things. Um, you know, my father didn't know anything about athletics. Again, I was fortunate that through my coaches, they took time. We did things together. I used to go to my high school coach house after dinner night and play chess, listen to jazz, and just talk about life. These kids nowadays, for a lot of them, not all, a
I
lot,
understand.
they're not invested in that. They're not. They want to play. They want to get paid. If they're not happy right away, the first thing they want to do is transfer.
Yeah.
And they're
One of the
not
things
growing.
coaches have told me is that they don't coach anymore; they manage. And
That's a good.
anybody
That's a
who,
good statement.
if I manage you, then I'm still not putting you in a position of uncomfortableness, but you make diamonds through pressure. And anybody who read my book knows how close I was to my high school coach, Hank Galot. Anybody who's read that. So one of the reasons, Coach, why CKA is forming the postgraduate academy is just what you're talking about. We want to pause you. I want you to think. A lot of high school kids have gone to at least two different high schools for whatever reason. I won't get involved in that. So then, as a college coach, as you recruit them, you already kind of know in the back of your head that they're probably going to leave you. So if you're a coach at the MEAC, do you coach high school and hope you have a player for 2 years and then let them go? Or do you coach through JUCO? Or do you strictly assign a staff member to look at players in the transfer portal? And there's a lot of ways to coach these days. But at the end of the day, the CKSA project doesn't want you to exhaust eligibility. We want you to gain something from it. And as you go from school to school, and I'm talking to a master educator here, I can tell you what doesn't go with you everywhere. Those are your credits. Your credits don't
That's
travel
exactly
as
right.
fast as you do. So if you go from 30 credits to 15, but your point totals go from 12 to 18, is that good? I say no.
Right.
Because at some point, you're going to exhaust eligibility. And what do you have from all of what you've done from travel ball all the way through? So, as we've said time and again, get whatever it is you want from NIL, but at the end of the day, get a degree from it. Coach, I'm going to let you close before we exit out of this episode.
I agree with you. Again, I give you an example. I brought in 6 freshmen. They all want to go home. They all want to go home. And that is the reality of what we're dealing with. Homesick. Homesick. My voice is harsh for some. I tell them all the time. One thing, son, I'll never do is lie to you. My voice may be harsh, but I'll never lie to you. And sometimes we deal with young men and young women in the college athletics that don't want to hear the truth.
Don't hear the volume, hear the words, and worry when we stop talking to you.
That's his, and we tell them that. My assistants tell the players that. Listen, as long as he's talking to you, son, you in the
You're
game.
good.
You good.
You're good.
You know?
Don't hear the volume, hear the words,
Yes.
and worry when I stop talking
Yes.
to you, because that means I don't think I can help anymore.
Right.
I think that's a great way to close on that. So on behalf of the coach's coach, Alfred Johnson, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the iCoaches podcast, and we'll see you on the sidelines. Until next time, take care.
The iCoaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The iCoaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the iCoaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the iCoaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at iCoaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project.
In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach Franchize. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches Podcast.